plants that you're building in Mexico right now, and you think you're going to get that, you're going to not hire Americans, and you're going to sell the cars to us. Now, we're going to put a 100% tariff on every single car that comes across the line, and you're not going to be able to sell those cars. If I get elected, now, if I don't get elected, it's going to be a bloodbath for the whole, that's going to be the least of it. It's going to be a bloodbath for the country.
Fox News contributor Joe Concha says, of course, the president was talking about an economic bloodbath, but the media reported it as if he had predicted anarchy if he loses the election.
Sorry to all the activists posing as journalists. The playing field has been leveled, and you can't get away with this nonsense any longer. The context is beyond apparent. We just played the tape. Trump was talking about the auto industry, electric vehicle push by Joe Biden and China, obviously, and their role with electric vehicles as far as batteries. And he was talking about an economic bloodbath. Again, we just played the tape. Yet many in traditional media pushed this narrative all in lockstep anyway. The Biden-Harris campaign also issuing a statement about the bloodbath comment, all knowing it was a lie in all caps. They went ahead and did it anyway, because when your campaign is vastly underwater on almost every major issue, this level of dishonesty is what you have to resort to.
An incident in Virginia is helping underline the existence of resources for unwanted babies.
Authorities in Leesburg in northern Virginia were called after a late-term baby was found deceased in a pond. The child was taken to a medical examiner for an autopsy. Olivia Turner of the Virginia Society for Human Life tells AFN it's still under investigation, but it draws attention to safe haven laws.
Safe haven law allows a mother in a desperate situation to relinquish her baby without any fear of legal action at a hospital or a fire station, where there is a sort of what we call a baby box that allows the baby to be safely relinquished, and an alarm goes off notifying the staff that the baby is there.
In Virginia, that can be done within 30 days after birth.
As tragic as the situation was in Leesburg, it is good that we're able to communicate to the public that there is help available, and no woman, no mother, no parent ever needs to feel that desperate without knowing that there's another avenue they can take up.
All 50 states have safe haven laws that allow giving up a baby anonymously with no fear of prosecution. But the real tragedy is they usually receive no publicity until a baby is found, abandoned under circumstances dangerous, perhaps deadly, for the child. I'm Charlie Butts.
More news online at AFN.net and the AFN mobile app. I'm Rusty Pugh.
Well, good evening, everyone, everywhere. It's a Tuesday night, and I am here for Nick at Night. That's me, Far Out with me, Nick at Night. And we're just going to, pretty much a hangout. I'm glad to see anyone showing up. You in the chat room over here. I believe I know who that is. So please change the name from you to your name, and it'll be nice to see you. And it's good to hear from Linda. Says, don't talk over phones. She says, I'm a Protestant believer. I listen to you quite often. So there are people that are listening, and but don't talk over phones. But that's okay. It's nice to hear from you in the chat room, or text. She texted me, Linda did, from wherever she's at. It's good to hear from just about anybody at any time. And I was hoping, well, if I stick at it long enough, I've been doing this now since February 2nd, I believe it was, coming here every night. And I'm just, I'll stick at it as long as I can, and hope to build some kind of fellowship here where people feel comfortable. They can jump into the chat room. They can text me at the number that's right there on the screen below me. And if you're listening, you can text me at 559-534-8470 on your smartphone. But also on your smartphone, you can go to FirstAmendmentRadio.net /Moby. And there's a little tab on the top for the chat room, and you'll find the text number there. And if it's on your phone, all you got to do is tap on it, and your text screen will come up, and all that stuff works like magic. So anyway, good to hear from everyone anytime we can. I'm just going to start out with Babylon Bee and news items, and wait for people to come on with suggestions, comments, questions, suggestions for or links they want me to look at, because I want this program to be about the listener too. You can also, like I said, text me, or you could Skype me at Nicholas Arthur. My spelling is peculiar for Nicholas. It's not Nicholas like most people spell it, but it's Nicholas, Nicklasarthur. So Nicholas Arthur. So you could even Skype me, and be patient if you Skype in, because I need to learn how to use that. But to learn how to use it well, I need more people to do it. So, there's the regular phone number, and I'm working on a different phone line too. Not very hard, but yes, I should be able to take calls over the same text number, text or calls, but I don't have the call thing working yet. I haven't figured out how to do that. Yes, even I have my my computer challenges for as long as I've been doing this. Started audio streaming back in 1995. One of the first out there, full-time streaming. So let's see, Shelly R., good to see you in the chat room here. Says, hello, I had to disconnect my VPN in order for the chat to work. Oh, okay. And now we know that needs to be done, I guess. Good to see you too, Mick Rent, or Mike, over there in the other chat room. Okay, I guess I'm just going to start, as usual, with Babylon Bee and go through a few of my newsletters, and then we'll see where we go from there. Let's see. Oh, yes. Click here and right there. And we have arrived at the Babylon Bee. Confused by your husband's cryptic texts, let the Babylon Bee interpret them for you. Well, this ought to be interesting. Husbands sending cryptic texts, huh? But I thought it was the men who couldn't understand the women. But the women expect us to understand them when we usually don't. Something like that. Yes, indeed. Ladies, are you having a hard time knowing what your husband's text messages really mean? Men are complicated creatures, so relationship experts conducted a survey or study to translate man text into lady English. Let's check it out. This ought to be good for a laugh. Okay. Here's a complete guide to what your man is really saying when he sends you that text. Text, thumbs up emoji. Thumbs up emoji. Translation, cool. Right, I get it. Text, K. Translation, okay. Text, LOL. Translation, I am mildly amused but did not laugh. I thought LOL meant laugh out loud. Okay. Text, kids are fine. Translation, I haven't seen the kids in an hour. I'm sure wherever they are, they're fine. Probably. Yeah. Text, take your time. Translation, I don't want you coming home early and catching me on my 5th Helldivers 2 match. I'm guessing that's a computer game. Since I don't play them, I can only guess. Text, do you know what aisle granola is in? Translation, I've been looking for your dang granola for 30 minutes now, and I'm about to light the store on fire. Okay, text, laughing emoji. Translation, I'm guessing this is the reaction I'd have if I watched the video you sent. Text, got it. Translation, I did not read your text, and I will be calling in 15 minutes to ask you a bunch of questions you already answered in great detail. Yeah, I see people texting with their thumbs. You know, their thumbs are just doing this real fast thing, man. And I was just going, I can't do that. How come I can't do that? Yeah. I can type on a keyboard because I used to type on a typewriter. Imagine that. I took a typing class in high school, I think it was. Yeah, learning how to type. Okay, next, text. Do we have any Band-Aids? Translation, I'm bleeding to death in the garage. Yeah, because most men won't stop for a Band-Aid unless they're really, really bleeding and they can't stop it. Text, you okay? Translation, I know you're not okay, but I'm approaching you cautiously as though you were a wounded bear. So easy. Since those are likely the only phrases your husband ever texts you, you'll now have no problem understanding what he's saying. Yeah, there you go. Yes. It sounds like a lot of my texts. Yeah, but I don't have a wife. I do have family, though. So kind of almost the same thing. Let's see. Yes, indeed. Home defense. Woke home defense, too. I think we already checked that out once. So I don't want to look at it again. Let's see. Okay. Well, next. Katanji Brown Jackson warns right to free speech could lead to people speaking freely. Yeah. I heard some of her comments. You know, isn't she the one, that famous quote came from her? I don't know. Yeah, isn't that her famous quote? When someone asked if she knew what a woman was, she didn't know. She was afraid to give the wrong answer or the right answer or something. And to believe this woman is on the Supreme Court, man, unbelievable. She probably has never read the Constitution or read it as opposition research. What do you think of that? Sad, sad world. Okay. Moving on. Let's see. Video, Inside Biden's Head, the Inside Out parody. Huh. Well, I'm curious. Please, somebody stop me. Mike says testing in the chat room. Good to see you in the First Amendment Radio chat room there, Mike. Welcome. I don't know if that's the same Mike that's in the other chat room, but anyway, so let's check it out. We got a video of Inside Biden's Head. So hopefully it gives us something to laugh at before we get into all the seriousness of the news of the day. I guess I better turn on the sound here. So I just have to remember to turn it off for the break. Otherwise you get that echo thing going. Okay, here we go. Let's see what happens.
We also need Ukraine to make changes to fix the broken immigration system here.
Did we just say Ukraine? Fix it! Somebody fix it quick! I'm on it.
We also need Congress to make the changes to fix the broken immigration system here at home.
Oh, that was a close one, but I think we got away with it. Hey, shut up, you dog-faced pony soldier. Hey, come on, man. We are a doddering old man that gets to be the president, okay? How cool is that?
Who wants an ice cream cone?
All right, all of you, shut up. Whose freaking fault was that just now? Who said Ukraine needs to fix the immigration system?
Sorry. Dementia? How'd you get in here, buddy?
I don't know.
All right, get out right now.
Okay. All right. This way. This way. Yeah. Oh. Whoa. There we. That's a good way too. Hey, take my ice cream cone. You like my ice cream cone?
Yeah. I'm not, to be that guy again, but while we're all arguing about this, who's running the speech? We need to choose our words.
There is some movement, and I don't want to, well, maybe choose my words.
No, don't say choose my words out loud. That's just the part I say in here.
There's some movement. There's been a response from
From Hamas!
There's been a response from
The opposition!
the opposition.
The opposition? Why did you say the opposition?
It's just what I do.
Yes, I'm sorry. From Hamas.
Why does he keep glitching like this?
Sorry, wasn't I supposed to unplug this?
Oh, Dementia, how'd you get in here, buddy?
I was walking around and here I was.
Well, why don't we just go this way and we'll get you some Jell-O, okay? Doesn't that sound good? Jell-O!
The French president is Mitterrand.
I sat down and I said, America's back. And Mitterrand from Germany
From France!
said, why, how long are you back for?
Macron is the president of France.
No, I'm pretty sure Macron is a cookie. As sure as I am that Mexico is on the border of Israel.
The President of Mexico, Sisi, did not want to open up the gate to allow humanitarian to get in.
No!
What the bleep is going on around here?
What is going on around here? I don't know.
That's it. Listen up, Fats. He's in charge now. We are incapable of giving a softball interview.
Okay.
We're not even mentally competent enough to stand trial for mishandling classified documents. We are an embarrassment. Someone else is gonna have to take over as president.
But who? Who else is there?
It's very important, as you have heard from so many incredible leaders, for us at every moment in time, and certainly this one, to see the moment in time in which we exist and are present, and to be able to contextualize it, to understand where we exist in the history and in the moment as it relates not only to the past but the future.
So I gotta tell you guys, she went back on the boat and she threw the necklace back in the water.
No way. Why don't I remember this?
I was bawling.
Guys, he's getting off the helicopter. We gotta say something to the press.
Wait, where's Dementia?
He's in the bathroom.
My butt's been wiped.
No!
My butt's been wet.
Deep in flavor, deep in savings, deep in your mind. CigarPage.com is partnering with Babylon Bee to bring you a finger-licking collection of 90-plus...
Okay. All right, well, that's supposed to be Biden's brain. Yeah, pretty messed up. How did we get in such a state to have Biden and Harris, the clown show? Reminds me of back in the 60s when people were smoking pot. That was exactly how some of them talked. Either like Biden or word salad like Kamala Harris. Yeah. Here, there, everywhere. Yes, testing. You are in, Mike. We see you in the chat room. Okay. So anyway, that's a good look inside of Biden's brain. Good for a chuckle. Let's see. Unhinged Trump threatens more violence by promising to trigger a landslide on election day. Yeah, that would happen, wouldn't it? And first we have a bloodbath, and then we're going to have a landslide. Yes. Well, the Democrats are going to do everything they can to prevent the landslide. Yes. Let's see. Democrats clarify they're okay with bloodbath if it's just from killing the unborn. Yeah. Not funny, but very true. Yes, they love their bloodbath, don't they? FBI arrests number one most wanted criminal, Pepe the Frog. Okay. Don't know who Pepe the Frog is, but moving on. Illegal immigrants politely decline free flight on a Boeing. Yes, they're not even that stupid, I guess. I'm guessing they'll take a free flight on anything they can get, honestly. Let's see. All murderers released from death row after Biden declares no one is illegal. Yes, must have been dementia in charge when he made that speech. Anyway, that's all we got from the Babylon Bee. Yes, indeed. Okay, well, we got a few people showing up, but nobody's saying anything to me, so I'll just keep talking. Keep doing my monologue here. Let's see. We live in wild times. The saga of the viral Chick-fil-A sauce girl is one of the weirdest stories of her time. She just got an agent at United Talent Agency. Chick-fil-A, a girl, is wifey. I don't get it. I don't know what they're talking about here. No Chick-fil-A sauce. Anybody know? This is supposed to be real news. Yeah, but I'm guessing sometimes it's hard to tell between what is the Babylon Bee and what is not the bee. Okay, Justice Jackson says First Amendment is hamstringing the government in efforts to censor speech. Yes, she did actually say that. It's going to hamstring the government in efforts to censor speech. And as soon as she finds out what a woman is, maybe then she'll qualify to say something intelligent. Breaking. Supreme Court Justice discovers why the First Amendment was written. I don't think she's discovered it yet. At least it doesn't seem like she's discovered it to me. And she said that with a straight face, that, yeah, the First Amendment is hamstringing the government's efforts to censor speech. Yes, a true totalitarian if there ever was one. Why did the entire media complex and our president lie about Trump's use of the word bloodbath over the weekend? Check out the hypocrisy. Bloodbath at RNC. Trump team slashes staff at committee. Oh, that's from Politico. Trump says they can use bloodbath, but Trump can't use the word bloodbath. I see. Okay, yeah. If you didn't see it, here were the headlines. Yeah. Okay. All right, let's move on to Redacted Newsletter, see what they have for the day. Keeping up with the news of the day. It gives me something to do here in the evening and to share it with all of you. Happy Tuesday. Yep, still Tuesday. Bank error in your favor. Yeah, that reminds me of, that is right. Bank error in your favor. That's Monopoly, isn't it? Bank error in your favor? There's no such thing as a bank error that's in your favor. Because if they catch it, they'll take the favor away, won't they? Like, what if they made an error and put an extra, $10,000 in my bank account? That would be a bank error in my favor, right? You better know that they'll come back and take that money away. So No bank errors in your favor. No soup for you. Mike says, Nicholas, any thoughts on Trump? Says he'd have to hold fire sale of properties to meet $464 million bond. Seizures of Trump's assets to begin on March 25th. Pass go, collect $400. He needs to collect like $400 million. It's, what is that? There's something in the Constitution about excessive fines and penalties, isn't there? I mean, this is how many people in the United States have been charged with overvaluing their properties on their loan. I mean, everybody does it. You're supposed to do it because you're supposed to go, well, this is what it's worth to me. Or no, usually when you have properties, you get a, what do you call it, an appraisal, a real estate appraisal. And you let a professional guess what your property is worth. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I was doing appraising back in the 1980s. Or was it the 90s? No, it was the 80s. I did appraisals for 3 or 4 years and then decided it wasn't that much fun and went back to carpentry work. Anyway, we'll take a look at redacted news, what they have for us when we get back from these messages. And I'll have to, we'll see if I have any thoughts on that, Mike, over there in the chat room. But I pretty much think the Constitution covers that. Maybe we'll take a look at that. I'll be back in a few minutes.
Secrets of the Rapture. Is there a 500-year-old conspiracy? A propaganda machine so pervasive and entrenched, yet so elusive that the entire world could be taken in by it, working in plain sight, but unseen by the world for what it truly is? If prophecy is God-given history in advance, why does the prophecy that has conquered the age also exclude nearly 2,000 years of history? What is it that they are afraid that the light of history will reveal? To understand our place in time and prophecy, we must look in history for an interpretation, that which stands the test of time, that which agrees with the Word of God, and history has proven to be true. When cunning fables and fearful speculations are removed from our sight, then we may clearly see what is truly expressed in Bible prophecy, both that which has been fulfilled and that which has yet to come. God's express word is the sword that must be wielded to remove the scales from the eyes and dispel the darkness of deceitful conjecture. Secrets of the Rapture was written to expose that which the spirit of the age has conjured out of the darkness to blind the eyes of the church in the world today. Secrets of the Rapture, Deconstructing Pre-Tribulation Dispensational Futurism by yours truly, Nicholas Arthur, is now available at lulu.com and Amazon. Secrets of the Rapture.
The program you are listening to is 100% sponsored by you, the listener, on this First Amendment Rights Media channel. You will notice that there are few commercials on this radio network. There's a good reason for that. Corporate advertising dollars come with strings that limit program content. So without your help, these programs cannot continue on internet or our several affiliates. If you benefit by the educational law programs, we ask you to give. If you are admonished or nurtured by the Bible and ministry programs, we ask you to give. If some voice a cause that you are passionate about, we ask you to give. If you believe in any of these, we ask you to support them as you would a missionary on a continual basis, as if giving a tithe for missionary radio. These programs are not commercially viable and must be supported by those faithful to the cause of truth. Look for the button to sponsor your favorite programs at our listen and schedule pages on the internet. We're asking you to give much less than a tithe, so that you may also send support directly to a particular program host, cause, and anywhere else the Spirit may lead you. Do all to the glory of our God and Creator, for His holy nation, the only kingdom that will last forever. Thank you for listening.
Oops. I forgot to turn off the sound, so I'm sure that we got double audio during the break. Just noticed that. I get used to turning my mic off, but not the other thing. So, yes, I was looking at it. Was the Eighth Amendment. Excessive bails and fines are prohibited. And this definitely, $350 million is excessive fines. That's that is just beyond the pale. I mean, you'd think he was that he committed a genocide or something, but no. Many people perhaps exaggerate their wealth on occasion, and especially when they're going for loans or something. But see, it's the bank's job to do its due diligence, or your job to hire a certified, I was talking about it before. The person who assesses your property. Anyway, and banks usually require that anyway, so they have to do their job. And plus, no one was harmed. There was no injured party in the lawsuit that the government brought against him. I don't even know how that works. How do you charge someone with fraud when no one was defrauded? That's another thing. It's just all wrong. It's just all wrong. But somehow he has to come up with $500 million now to cover a $350 million $350 million fine. It's crazy. That is anything but. It is definitely excessive bail and fines are prohibited. It says cruel and unusual punishment banned, and that definitely, because whatever they're charging him for a supposed crime that isn't really a crime, okay, that would have to be the same for everyone, equal protection and equal punishment under the law, right? So they're going to fine everyone $350 million who exaggerates the price of their property, perhaps, maybe, and did they establish the fact that he knew he was lying intentionally? Maybe he thought his property was worth more than that. Maybe he was being, conservative on his estimate. Yeah. So, but, what good does it do to talk about it? I can't believe that this woman is getting away with doing this. I can't believe they're getting away with all this stuff that they're doing to him, and that people are going along like, charge you with a non-crime and then fine you for it, and just make up the amount that you do. It's not written in the law anywhere. Where's the legislation that says this will be the fine? They have that. So much fine, so many days in jail minimum, or maximum. There's minimums and maximums written, legislated in the law. Where's the legislated, where's the statute for it? Judges are not little dictators, are they? They can't make up law. They're there to uphold the law, not make up the law. So what are these lawyers doing anyway? Why are they going along with this? A whole lot of questions going on, and it's unbelievable that this is even going on and allowed to continue. Okay, well, yes. Let's see what else we got here. There are over 5 on First Amendment Radio page. Okay. Hello, John. I'm glad. Oh, John is back. Good to see you, John. Yeah. Okay, well, let's see what else we got. We were looking at redacted news, I think we were. Yeah. Here we go. Bank error in your favor. That's where we left off. In case you missed it, former President Obama showed up at 10 Downing Street to meet with UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak on Monday, and no one knows quite why. Yeah, I'm sure that's against the law for him to be conferring with foreign dignitaries while he's not president, making deals for the country, whatever, because, in place of Joe Biden. Because, we had that little Babylon Bee thing there with Biden's brain. Well, I'm sure Obama's up there somewhere in his brain. Yeah. Because he even still calls him president. Okay. Let's see. In case you missed it, former President Trump said he would consider deporting Prince Harry if it turns out that he lied on his visa application about doing drugs. A judge ruled that the application must be released, but the Department of Homeland Security said that it needed some extra time to find it. Right. You need some extra time to find it. Don't they have all that stuff computerized by now? How do you not find? Oh, yeah, I get it. Right. We need time to find it. Yes, need extra time to find it. So, Prince Harry, who cares? Didn't he marry some woman? I forget her name. That was an actress or something. Something. Yeah, I'm really up on the trending People magazine stuff. Okay, British actor Aaron Taylor Johnson, who has reportedly been picked to be the next James Bond. Somewhat surprisingly, he's a straight British white male. Huh. Didn't know that was still allowed. Guess James Bond Bond, James, will probably always be a straight white male. Yes. Unless James Bond goes woke. I don't think I've ever sat through a James Bond movie. Sorry. Yes. I'm trying to think, have I? Maybe I have and maybe I haven't. I don't remember ever sitting through a James Bond movie. Next, let's see. In case you missed it, Unilever will cut 7,500 jobs and split off its ice cream business. Okay. I don't know who Unilever is, but they make ice cream, and they're cutting a lot of jobs. Let's see. Hedge funds are suing the SEC, claiming that new rules requiring them to register will make their lives harder. Hedge funds now have to register with the SEC. Life will be harder. Oh no. The EU is calling for a shift to a war economy mode. I guess they're getting ready for World War III. Yeah. I mean, I guess they need to do something. They've already wrecked their economies with all this woke stuff, and they're shutting down farms and shutting down all their industry because they can't afford fuel. Yeah, I guess they have to do something. Well, let's see. Afghanistan has accused Pakistan of bombing civilians on Monday. So something heating up over there amongst the stands. That's right. Let's see. Next. Let's see. Gold. Says it's down, but still hovering about $2,150. A little more, a little less. Silver, about the same. Bitcoin, $63,000. Yes. Make sure you keep your Bitcoin safely at home where nobody can find it. So you can, if the proverbial stuff hits the fan, at least you'll have Bitcoin. You can go down and trade one of those bits for a gallon of gas. Oh no, $63,000 a bit. That's a lot of gas. Yeah. Never mind. Okay, Israel tells Biden who's the boss. Yeah, well, I know who the boss really is. It's the Antichrist. And, yeah, I wonder if the Antichrist, because the Antichrist tries to control the world, tries to operate everything behind in the shadows, but they don't really control everything. Because I kind of wonder, were they really in control of that Hamas thing? Were they ready for that? Seemed like they were working really hard on their Abraham Accord, and I think they want to bring it back, or perhaps they thought they needed a reason to have more peace talks or something, so they started that over there. But like I said, they don't control everything, yeah. But they try really hard. You have to give the Antichrist some credit. They try really hard to control the entire world. But corruption is really hard. It's hard. I mean, using corruption is difficult to control people. I mean, sure, you can pay them off, but they're corrupt. So the only people you have an allegiance of are ones that are corrupt, because they're the only ones who will take your payoffs. So it's got to be difficult for the Antichrist to control the world the way he's been doing it. Because corrupt people are hard to control because, well, they're corrupt. The real boss may be the UK. Obama sparks buzz with surprise visit to 10 Downing Street amid Buckingham Palace drama. Yeah, who knows why he's there? Probably, that part of Biden's brain, the old Biden part of his brain. Yeah, probably doing foreign relations. So who wants to meet with Biden anyway? Seriously. Let's see. Israel Prime Minister set the agenda for the war with Gaza. President Biden made it clear that he's making rules around here in a recent statement. I spoke tonight with the president, Joe Biden. We talked about the latest developments in the war, including Israel's commitment to achieve all the goals of war, the elimination of Hamas, the release of all the hostages, and the promise that Gaza will no longer pose a threat to Israel while providing the necessary humanitarian aid that helps achieve these goals. This is a not so subtle way of saying that the U.S. will give us no limitations on what we want to do in Gaza, period. Likely true, yeah. Okay, now what do we got here? Come on in. We won't stop you. The Supreme Court again ruled that Texas cannot arrest illegal aliens who are crossing from Mexico while the case is litigated. I mean, you'd think that any state could arrest any criminal at any time they wanted to. Yeah, come on in. We won't stop you. That's what's been going on for 3 years now. And it seems like they just continue to flood over. Biden administration has asked the court to bar Texas from implementing Texas Senate Bill 4, which makes it a crime to cross the border outside of ports of entry, punishable by up to 6 months in prison. makes it a crime to cross the border. Yeah, punishable by 6 months in prison for first-time offenders and 20 years in prison for repeat offenders. Well, if only. Do they have enough prisons to put all these people in? Maybe we ought to just, I don't know, fence off part of the desert over there in New Mexico or something, or Nevada, New Mexico, and just send them all there to wait for say, you can go back to Mexico, you go back across the border, or you can wait in our camp over here in the desert. We will provide water and shade. Yes, indeed. And let Catholic Charities take care of them while they wait, and let them get their government from their donations instead of let them get their money from donations instead of the federal government. Okay, this means that illegal immigration invasion will continue, and the Biden administration is doing nothing to stop it. Of course, more than 9 million illegal immigrants have crossed the U.S. and Mexico since 2021, according to Customs and Border Protection data. Separately, a federal judge in Chicago ruled that illegal immigrants cannot be forbidden from having guns. Nice. They want to take our guns away. Do illegal aliens have the right to have a gun in the U.S.? It's like they want them to have guns so that they can commit crimes or make sure all of the ones that are here with ill intent are armed. So who are these federal judges? Let's see. Title 18 of the U.S. Code does in fact bar illegal immigrants from carrying guns or ammunition, but a judge dismissed the case against the man who had done just that, arguing that it violated the Second Amendment. Second Amendment rights are for citizens of the United States, not for illegal aliens or criminals. Criminals give up their rights. Yes. Oh, the Constitution is there, but yes, they've figured out how to ignore it, haven't they? Okay. The man said that he had a gun only for civil protection during a time of civil uprising in the spring of 2020. Civil uprising in 2020. Oh, yes, that was the woke riots that were mostly peaceful. Okay, gold just hit an all-time high again. Gold reached a new all-time high this month, and Bank of America expects gold to hit $3,000 an ounce. Yeah, I heard that before. So, anyway, yep. Let's see, Apple and Google sitting in a tree. Will the iPhone soon have Google's artificial intelligence? Rumors of this happening sent shares of both Apple and Google up on Monday. I don't get it. Rumors, yes. Will the iPhone soon have Google artificial intelligence? Let's see, the problem with Google Gemini is, well, there are many. First, it's racist. Second, it is biased. So would Apple take a chance and put this program on every Apple device? Tim Cook said that Google would be heavily investing in AI, but did he mean partnering with Google to do so? No idea. Don't care. I don't have an Apple phone anyway. I wouldn't have one because they put some things on there automatically that I don't want to be tracked. Let's see. And would users be given an option to opt out, or would it be forced upon users like the U2 album? Yes, it's horrifying. It's scary to think about Google being the global authority figure on your phone, especially in light of the recent report showing that Google has been serving biased information, which has influenced elections since at least 2008. By the numbers. Yes, indeed. Gene modification is back. Good to see you. What further croakings of doom have we today? Did you copy and save that, paste it from your last visit to us over there, genetic modification? Okay. Ooh, and speaking of, let's see. Your name and where you're calling from. No croakings of doom from the phone. As a matter of fact, the absence of croaking. Yep. Okay. News by the numbers. Still making noises. Never mind. 3. That's how many strokes Dr. Dre says that he suffered after being hospitalized for a brain aneurysm. I wonder what caused 3 strokes and a brain aneurysm. He's a doctor. See, I think doctors were required to take the clot shot. Yeah. 464 million. That is how much an appeals court in New York wants from President Trump as bond money over a civil fraud case. But his lawyers are trying to get that amount reduced as the former president appeals the case. They are saying that this amount is impossible. And, I mean, what can you do if they're violating the 8th Amendment against excessive fines and, excessive fines? I mean, how do you enforce that? Because, I mean, what is the highest fine that has ever been charged to an individual? No, I think they've been charging corporations fines like that for doing things. But now this is, they've been getting away with it. But corporation, yes, I believe it is excessive because, just think, if you fill out an application and you exaggerate the value of your properties, you might get fined $350 million because that's the going fine now. Croakings of doom, huh? Okay. 0.1%, 0.1%. That is the new interest rate in Japan, rising from a negative rate for the first time in 17 years. We'll keep your money in the bank. Well, even if they pay you like 5 or 6% interest, even if they could pay you 5 or 6% interest, what about that 30% inflation rate that we just had over the last couple of years? You're losing money no matter what. But then the government will tax you on the interest they paid you on while your money's losing value in the bank. What a racket, man. Yeah, what a racket. Okay, what's trending? This video is trending because the entire Dodgers team was at full attention for the first pitch thrown out recently by South Korean actress Jeon Jong-so. Yeah, I'm not going to watch the video. So I don't watch spectator sports anyway. Okay, Banksy is trending because the artist, it's an artist? I thought it was a new kind of bank or something, or a banking app. Doesn't that sound like a banking app, Banksy? But it's an artist. Confirmed that new artwork of a tree in London is in fact his work. So must be some kind of stealth artist or something. See, Bob Dylan is trending on news that actor Timothy Chalamet will play him in an upcoming movie. Ooh, you're getting big time when they get an actor to play you while you're living, right? Yes, indeed. Bob Dylan. Yeah. wonder about that man. Supposed to be a Christian. Must be hard being a Christian and being him at the same time. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Okay, let's see. Where is Princess Kate Middleton? The saga continues. Yesterday, the Sun posted this video of what they say is Kate Middleton, who was spotted for the first time since she mysteriously posted an edited photo on Mother's Day, sparking major concerns about her whereabouts. Some people are satisfied that this proves that she is A-OK. Most people are not. The video is grainy and unfocused, and her body language is unfamiliar to people who watch The Princess. Several X-users employed AI to unblur the image, and while that is an unreliable technology, it doesn't help the story along at all. There are also rumors that the person who took the footage, Nelson Silva, is a videographer. Well, if he's a videographer, he's not a very good one. I guess that's the point there. The question remains, why is the public being fed such inconsistent stories? Why is the media complicit? Why does every explanation only make things worse? Is this palace intrigue? Sure, but the royal family is a taxpayer-funded entity that likes to remind us that they serve the people. If a senior royal has been harmed or is otherwise hurt, and they are lying about it, the people deserve to know. Must be great being British, huh? Okay, here's a little break, and I will return with a fresh cup of coffee. Don't go anywhere.
The program you are listening to is 100% sponsored by you, the listener, on this First Amendment Rights Media channel. You will notice that there are few commercials on this radio network. There's a good reason for that. Corporate advertising dollars come with strings that limit program content. So without your help, these programs cannot continue on satellite, internet, or our several affiliates. If you benefit by the educational law programs, we ask you to give. If you are admonished or nurtured by the Bible and ministry programs, we ask you to give. If some voice a cause that you are passionate about, we ask you to give. If you believe in any of these, we ask you to support them as you would a missionary on a continual basis, as if giving a tithe for missionary radio. These programs are not commercially viable and must be supported by those faithful to the cause of truth. Look for the button to sponsor your favorite programs at our listen and schedule pages on the internet. We will also give you unlimited archive access to all of our programs. We're asking you to give much less than a tithe so that you may also send support directly to a particular program host, cause, and anywhere else the Spirit may lead you. Do all to the glory of our God and Creator, for His holy nation, the only kingdom that will last forever. Thank you for listening.
Hi, I'm Nicholas Arthur, and I'd like to introduce you to my latest book, Reformed Prophecy Interpretation, an apology for Reformed premillennial historicism in the 21st century. As with primitive biblical Christianity, historicism is the method of prophecy interpretation restored with the advent of the Protestant Reformation, and had become so widely held that for a long time it was called the Protestant view. My book is not so much about the errors of dispensationalism or amillennialism. Rather, it is about the historicist alternative to understanding many of the same passages from the vantage point of prophecy fulfilled in history. For those that desire more than mere hypotheses, bolstered with conjectured speculation, those who require explicit biblical exegesis and verified historical fulfillment,
and are not willing to accept speculation as anything other than what it is. Speculation, not truth. This book is for you. Over the last century, this method of interpretation has become almost completely forgotten, even by Protestants, in the face of a method that is based almost entirely on future speculation, rather than fulfilled prophecy in history. In my book, I examine the reasons for this and investigate some of the prophecy which has been fulfilled in the interim, as well as present an apology for Reformed premillennial historicism to the 21st century. If you're interested in a copy of my book, you can go to my website, crosstheborder.org, and get more information there. Or you may also find it at Amazon. Okay. See, Banksy, says John, Banksy became famous for simple graffiti. So somebody knows who Banksy is. It's not an app. That would have been my guess. Good night, y'all, says Scattered Sheep. Have a good day at work tomorrow. And sweet dreams. Chris Lucas. Oh, are you a follower of Chris Lucas' channel, The Protestant View? I thought I saw you in a chat one of his live streams. Yeah, I've watched some of his live streams, but he has them at such odd times and you never know when they're going to be on. So, myself. So, he says he works on insane hours, so it's, yeah. So I guess whenever he gets a notion, he goes on. And then they're like 4 or 5 hours long, and I'm going, well, 2 hours seems like a lot to me. But 3, 4, 5 hours, that's a little long. I mean, I'm just here, going through the news and stuff and doing it on the air at the same time with so I can talk to and meet other people and get a little online community at night going here. Simply because, otherwise I'm just a widowed old man. And otherwise I'd have to get married again or something. But who wants all that trouble? Yikes. Dating? Really? I don't want any more children. I've got grandchildren and children already, and that's fine. Yes. Yes, I attended. Okay. So, anyway, peace out, Scattered Sheep. Okay. All right, well, I found me a nice article here. Disarm the state. You are now considered criminals, while the real criminals are protected. What do you think? Disarming the state. This is like a dream. This is like, dream world. Whether the mask is labeled fascism, democracy, or dictatorship of the proletariat, our great adversary remains the apparatus, the bureaucracy, the police, the military, not the one facing us across the frontier of the battle lines, which is not so much our enemy as our brother's enemy, but the ones that calls itself our protector and makes us its slaves. No matter what the circumstances, the worst betrayal will always be to subordinate ourselves to this apparatus and to trample underfoot in its service all human values in ourselves and in others. And Simone Weil, whoever that is, our author is Gary D. Barnett here. As everyone should know by now, the state and its murderous enforcement goons desire that everyone should have their guns taken from them,
leaving guns only in the hands of the common criminals, and worse, in the hands of the evil police and military. This is sought under the guise of protecting us. Propaganda and lies all. Gun control could be a good thing, so long as it was gun control over the entire state apparatus, and all who participate in it. Well, you know what I call gun control? Learning how to hit the target with every shot. That's true gun control. And learning when to shoot and when not to shoot. That's gun control. Never aiming your gun at anything. Never aiming a gun at anything that you don't want to kill. That's gun control. What else? Yes, gun control. So there's a lot of things that, different people have different ideas of gun control. Treating every gun as if it's always loaded, that's gun control. Yeah. Whether you know it's loaded or not. Yeah. Even if you think it's not loaded, you're supposed to treat it as if it is loaded. Never put your finger on the trigger unless you're going to pull it. Unless you need to be ready to pull it. Yes. Always keep your finger straight out until you're ready to shoot someone or to shoot the gun. So that's what gun control, you like the 10 most important areas of gun control. I think I just named like 4 or 5 of them right there. Okay, so the state, yes, gun control could be a good thing so long as it's gun control over the entire state apparatus and all who participate in it. The citizenry should be armed at all times. Yes, I agree. While every single politician, every police officer, every soldier in the military, and every employee of the state should be disarmed immediately. What would be the point in having them if they were disarmed? Police officers and soldiers. Yeah. Everyone else should be armed, though, at the same time. That's what I believe. And every employee of the state should be disarmed immediately. Just consider how differently the evil political scum in government and all its enforcement bureaucracy would behave if they were unarmed while the masses were not. Go get out of line, learn who the boss is, right? The people would be the boss if the government employees were not allowed to be armed. That would be one of the things that you could only be a government employee if you agreed to give up your guns. I like it. Yeah, I like it. Just consider how differently the evil political scum in government, all its enforcement bureaucracy would behave if they were unarmed while the masses were not. Who would be free and in control then? The people, of course, and for the first time. What a novel idea, as that is a reversal I could embrace. The criminals are in charge, and as criminals, they always choose to stick together, protect each other, and all at the expense of the proletariat. That's supposed to be us. In Canada, over the past 2 years, car thefts, mainly at gunpoint, have increased to 1 every 6 minutes. Canada is mostly what is labeled a gun-free zone, at least as far as innocent citizens are concerned. But this does not apply to the common criminal and political class. Of course not. These car thefts have gotten so bad, so often, and so violent that the worthless and evil police called a public meeting to address this problem. The police had but one suggestion. This is what happens when they take your guns away. The suggestion? To prevent the possibility of being attacked in your home, leave your key fobs at your front door, because they're breaking into your home to steal your car. They don't want anything else. Yeah, leave your keys by your front door, outside. When they come into break into your house they'll see your keys there and just take your car. Right. What are you going to use to go to work the next day? right? What if you need your car for something? And this is coming from, because they know you don't have any guns, so you can't protect yourself. So they, rather than get yourself killed, just give them your car. Just let them have everything. As a matter of fact, just leave the door open and go hide in a closet somewhere, I guess, or run out the back when they come in the front. That's what they expect you to do. Seriously. To prevent the possibility of being attacked in your home, leave your key fobs at your front door because they're breaking into your home to steal your car. They don't want anything else. Oh, it's so great to be a Canadian. We got any Canadians in the chat room here? Anybody? I think Obama is in London to deflect attention to royal family. Oh, I thought he just went by their what do you call it, embassy. Okay, so for me to even imagine this level of demeaning, pathetic, and obvious stupidity by these so-called state-supported representatives is too insane to consider. But there is more. Those who attempt to defend themselves are arrested and charged with capital crimes, while the armed intruders are left to continue their reign of terror against others. There are many cases of this happening, as described by Dan Dix recently. Yes, we've all heard about this going on, that if you defend yourself or you kill someone who is trying to kill you, you may end up in prison. Okay, let's see. For me to even, it's a meh. I bring up this particular case because of how blatant it is the crime committed by the police in favor of only the government's agenda. It seems obvious that this is a plot against the people and a way for the breeding of violent chaos and civil unrest to take place. This is an intentional plan to allow further control over all in the future. This type of situation has happened many times in this country already, but will it get much worse as time goes by? Remember the theft, fires, destruction of property, and violent assaults that took place during the scam of 2020, mostly perpetrated by the Black Lives Matter and Antifa criminal gangs, government-supported gangs, that is. This was purposely set up and allowed by the state and its police forces, as few arrests or prosecutions were forthcoming. Think about the rioting and violent looting of retail stores, malls, and other shopping outlets that had been and is now fully allowed by the state and its police. There were even pronouncements by the police and state that anyone could steal amounts approaching $1,000 worth of merchandise without any worry of arrest or prosecution. This is an intentional invitation for criminals to steal. True. So true. Yeah, so true. This is an intentional invitation for criminals to steal. As in the Canada case, those who attempted to stop these thieves from stealing goods and destroying property and their businesses, and rightfully so, were in many cases prosecuted or fired from their jobs. No excuses begins to explain such idiocy and corruption as this. Your name and where you're calling from? Okay. Consider that the U.S. and its enforcement slime are rounding up people everywhere, bringing them to the border, purposely opening the gates and letting them all in, and then paying them off with thousands of dollars, free housing, medical care, schooling, citizenship by joining military crime syndicate, travel to wherever they want to go, among other perks. In doing this, the state has convinced the ignorant and dependent dolts of this country to blame those coming across the border by invitation, instead of blaming the government and its criminal accomplices who designed and are implementing this plot. by blaming those coming in, regardless of their motives, right or wrong. The state wins because they want desperately to cause unprosecuted crime, civil unrest, and turmoil, and the bulk of this seemingly stupid population are happy to oblige. This could easily lead to all in the U.S. being locked behind walls to keep them in, while the non-thinking proletariat will be sold on the lie that this is keeping others out. As I say, the Antichrist gets what he wants. Oh yeah, Guy Fawkes on the phone again. Yes, without a word to say. I don't know, wouldn't Guy Fawkes say something, or doesn't he have a mouth on his mask? Guy Fawkes Day, right. So, yeah. So the Antichrist is trying to destroy America, doing a very good job, is paid off Joe Biden. I mean, how can we have, who would have ever thought that someone could be prosecuted for fraud when no one was defrauded? That we could have a president who has been paid by the Chinese government, okay, that the Antichrist is paying through the Chinese government and other payola schemes. And we know he's getting the money, and his son and his whole family are becoming rich, and all their friends. They got a big money laundering thing going on over there in the Ukraine. All those billions of dollars, half of that, maybe half of it goes to the war effort in Ukraine. But it's really a big scam. And yes, people are getting killed. So it's, they're, by the blood of people, they're making millions and millions and millions of dollars, or billions of dollars, by money laundering through this supposed war that is not even declared to be a war. The Antichrist and his shadow government. And you know what? Half of the Christians are asleep because they don't know who the Antichrist is. They believe the counter-Reformation lie that we're still waiting for the Antichrist to show up in the future, and we can't know who he is, and we won't know who he is until we're raptured out of the way. Oh no, we're raptured. So it doesn't even matter who the Antichrist is. Why should we even care who it is? Because we'll never see him, because we're going to be pre-tribulation resurrected before 7 years before Jesus returns, and that's the only period of time that we have to worry about an Antichrist, so we don't have to worry about him at all. Right? Yeah, that's what they would have you believe. The end goal is to implode this economy, destroy the food production and distribution networks, causing massive hardship to you all, destroy the current monetary system and so as to replace it with central bank digital currency or Fed stablecoin. We'll just say mark of the beast, and to take full and complete control over the entire society. In order to accomplish this designed heinous plan of destruction and accomplish a reset of the economy, taking everything away from you in the progress so as to make you even more dependent, it is necessary to cause mass unrest. This will allow for martial law in the future or full military rule. Either way, a new police state is coming, and the more you hate each other instead of the true enemy that is the state, the easier it will be for you to become permanently enslaved by the very masters you have voluntarily chosen to be your rulers for life. The abominable state should be made impotent or abolished, not worshipped. And disarming all police and state's forces could accomplish that goal. Take the guns away from the tyrants and place them in the hands of the people. You are considered criminals by this atrocious state, but the real criminals are all those who claim to be your protector and savior. The government is full of criminals now. Yeah, Joe Biden, most of the people in Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C. belongs to the Antichrist, and it belongs to a cabal that wants to destroy everything that America was founded on. So take the guns away from the tyrants. Yes, I wish it could be so. I'm glad that people have not given up their guns yet. It's been very difficult, something the Antichrist is not happy about, that Americans haven't given up their guns. They haven't been able to do it here. They've done it in other countries, many other countries, and they won't be happy because America is the last bastion that has any vestige of freedom in the world today. When they take the guns away, when they get that part done, it will be all over with. Yes, the guillotines will come out. Yeah. So you are considered criminals by this atrocious state, but the real criminals are those who claim to be your protector and savior. This is not a Second Amendment problem, as that worthless language is irrelevant, as should have been learned by all at this point. Government never had any right to claim power over the people, so certainly has no right to restrict arms. Take the guns away from the rulers and their minions and keep them for yourselves. Natural law and natural rights are valid. Government pronouncements of rights are completely illegitimate. Absolutely. It's what the Bill of Rights and the Constitution was supposed to be all about. Self-defense is a natural right and needs not the approval or sanction by an immoral or unauthorized government. Protecting one's life by any means necessary is required if real safety and freedom are sought. See, we're not supposed to be going off fighting foreign wars. We're supposed to be here protecting our own land. The people are supposed to be a well-regulated militia. Yes. Of the people. The people are supposed to have the guns. That's what this guy is talking about. There's not supposed to be a standing army. Yeah, have you read the Constitution and the Bill of Rights lately? It hasn't changed. I understand it very well. It's not that hard to understand. I think it's written at like an 8th grade level. Yeah, not difficult at all to understand. It's not outdated. It would work perfectly if it was obeyed. Let's see. It's the only thing, the poison in the con of the Constitution was the centralization of power in Washington, D.C. That's all the Antichrist went for. He said, you let them have everything else that they want. Just give us that concentration of power, because we know, with 1,260 years experience in Western Europe, they know that when they concentrate power, they can corrupt it much more easily. Non-aggression is vital in any peaceful and harmonious society, but when a state becomes this aggressive, making war on the people, as it has today, it is time for it. And that's what's going on. Our government, under the Antichrist, is making war on the people of the United States. Our very way of life, the very core of what we stand for and what this nation was founded on. They're at war with it. And since they couldn't get us to give it up voluntarily, Americans have given up a lot voluntarily. But they're still clinging to their guns and their Bibles, right? So another tactic is being used now. And they're hoping that it's the final tactic, the one that will do it for them to overthrow what's left, what they haven't already torn down. Sometimes it's necessary to meet brutal and violent force of an out-of-control government with greater force. That time has come, says the author. A cop's job is to violently enforce upon the rest of us whatever arbitrary BS the political parasites declare to be law. It is therefore impossible to be a law enforcer and behave morally. For the same reason, one can't be a moral carjacker. Larkin Rose. What say you guys? Yes. See, genetic modification. Oh, Guy Fawkes. Is that your name? So I don't know who's genetically modified over there in the chat room. As long as you're not, what is it, genderly modified. Genetic modification. That doesn't sound good either. Most apostate generation desires to avoid persecution. Who persecutes apostates anyway? Seriously. Nobody. That's why they're apostate. Yeah. I kind of get it, but, had to think a little bit deeper about it there. Okay, so that's quite a thought-provoking article. So everyone in the chat room is armed, right? You have your guns. Yeah. And you're all exercise appropriate gun control, correct? Yeah. Know how to hit the target with every shot. You know how to keep your trigger off never aim a gun at anything. Treat every gun as if it's always loaded, even if you think it's not. Keep your guns in a safe place. Let everyone in your household should be trained. If you're going to have a gun in your house, on gun safety, even as young as they are, you can train them. Good to see you, SMT, Shauna, in the chat room there. And you in the chat room is back. Okay, well, that's a break music, so we're going to take a little break here. I'll be back in a few minutes.
The program you are listening to is 100% sponsored by you, the listener, on this First Amendment Rights Media channel. You will notice that there are few commercials on this radio network. There's a good reason for that. Corporate advertising dollars come with strings that limit program content. So without your help, these programs cannot continue on satellite, internet, or our several affiliates. If you benefit by the educational law programs, we ask you to give. If you are admonished or nurtured by the Bible and ministry programs, we ask you to give. If some voice a cause that you are passionate about, we ask you to give. If you believe in any of these, we ask you to support them as you would a missionary on a continual basis, as if giving a tithe for missionary radio. These programs are not commercially viable and must be supported by those faithful to the cause of truth. Look for the button to sponsor your favorite programs at our listen and schedule pages on the internet. We will also give you unlimited archive access to all of our programs. We're asking you to give much less than a tithe so that you may also send support directly to a particular program host, cause, and anywhere else the Spirit may lead you. Do all to the glory of our God and Creator, for His holy nation, the only kingdom that will last forever. Thank you for listening.
Visit crosstheborder.org, CROSS, crosstheborder.org, to get your print, EPUB, or PDF version of Nicholas Arthur's new book titled When the Third Temple is Built. That's crosstheborder.org. When it comes to prophecy today, much of the evangelical Christian world has their eyes on Israel, waiting and watching to see when the third temple will begin to be built. The plans are drawn. The Jewish people are eager. Most evangelical Christians today believe that the rapture will happen before the third temple is built. Hi, I'm Michael Eugene. I was taught that Daniel's 70th week was in the future. Is that really what the Bible teaches? Have we searched the scriptures and found this to be true? Why is it so important for a re-established Israel to build a third temple in Jerusalem? Is it necessary to build a temple on the same location already occupied by the Dome of the Rock? Is it necessary for sacrifices to take place in the temple on Temple Mount? Is there really a rapture followed by 7 years of tribulation? What is the New Testament temple? Can we identify history and prophecy? Who is the first beast in Revelation chapter 13? Who are the 7 kings in Revelation 17? I have asked all these questions, and I have found Nicholas Arthur's new book, When the Third Temple is Built, answers all these questions and more using Scripture to interpret Scripture. The Bible says that no prophecy of Scripture is of any private interpretation. Nicholas shows us in his new book, When the Third Temple is Built, how the Bible interprets prophecy and not man's private interpretation. Visit crosstheborder.org, C-R-O-S-S, crosstheborder.org to get your print, EPUB, or PDF version of Nicholas Arthur's new book titled When the Third Temple is Built. That's crosstheborder.org.
Okay. Well, I'm back, and I'm starting to feel like summer in here. It's 84 degrees in my studio here tonight. And not time for air conditioning yet. I did notice over there in the Rumble chat room, let's see, Shelly R is in a room over there. Said, I'm having trouble with the FAR chat today. Okay. Well, I don't know what that is, but the Rumble chat works. And then there's Ma50. Mike, thanks for your show. Oh, thanks for your show. I do appreciate it, Nicholas. Oh, you're Mike. MA50 is Mike. MAA50 is Mike. Whatever that means. But he says, thanks for your show. Do appreciate it. I appreciate you saying thanks for the show anyway. And Web Racing put a link in there. And I don't know whether I'm supposed to check on that or not, but I will after the broadcast. If you think I should look at something during the show, a little explanation of where the link is going might be helpful. And I'll know that you're just not spamming us. So, because who knows what I could be watching. So, anyway, Russia, a democracy that works. What do you guys think? Anyway, with 75% voter turnout, that's pretty good. 75% voter turnout. 87% of the turnout voted for Putin. You know, I think Putin is very popular in Russia, and I don't see why not. I mean, I've listened to some of his speeches, and he would have made a great conservative president if he was running for the president of the United States. And he spoke English, you know, instead of Russian. He said he's, you know, because he was downing critical race theory and transgendering and all that stuff. He said, no, we're not having that. None of this, you know, none of this hanky-panky going on in Russia. Put people in jail for it. That's right. Of course, you know, I can see why his people would vote for him 80%. He's 87%. He's a populist candidate. Yeah. So anyway, let's see what it says. No, the election was not rigged. Americans are so accustomed to their elections being rigged that they think all other countries' elections are rigged also. It didn't used to be that way, but now everyone's thinking, well, if ours is rigged, everyone else's must be rigged too. The whore American media instantly began the required chant. A fishy election. Of course, American elections are never fishy. You're an election denier if you think American elections are fishy. American denier you. I mean, you election denier you. American denier. Well, they deny America too, but American elections are never fishy, not even when under cover of darkness vote totals are suddenly reversed. Oh, that didn't happen, did it? Oh, nothing fishy going on there, you know. They stopped the count for a couple hours. When they came back, everything was reversed. Nothing wrong with that. I mean, they got away with it too. And then they started calling you an election denier if you noticed it or you say anything about it. Well, there's a lot of us election deniers still out here. We're not stupid. Yeah. The only people that believe you are the people that want to believe you because they're liars and cheaters just like you are. The election turnout is high in Russia because Putin, like Ronald Reagan, and unlike Biden, is a leader who focuses on unifying the country from a Russian national perspective. There's a little, did you hear him when he was on with Tucker Carlson? I mean, when he went on for 90 minutes with Russian history, Russian nationalism. Yeah, so just think if we had an American president that was going, American nationalism, make America, put America first. Yes. Why are we giving billions of dollars to other countries when we need the money here? We could build a border wall. We could kick those people back out. With all the money we've sent to, if we stop doing that, stop sending money to other countries, and we're borrowing it. Yeah. And Biden wants to raise your taxes because he doesn't think he can borrow enough. He can't put you in enough debt and inflate the money enough, so he wants you to pay more in taxes. So, from a Russian national perspective, there is little, if anything, about which to disagree with Putin. His recent address to the Russian people shows his concern as well as the active measures he is implementing to support families and soldiers. It is rare for a country to have a leader who is not trying to survive being in office or using the office for his personal benefit. There is no hope for U.S.-Russian relations. The budget and power of the U.S. military security complex, a powerful lobby encompassing the armaments industry, the Congress are elected by campaign contributions, and the CIA and the FBI depends on having an enemy. Russia is the enemy of choice. Americans were trained by decades of Cold War that there is a Russian threat. Another reason is that the U.S. foreign policy in the Mideast is controlled by the Israeli lobby, second in power only to the U.S. military security complex, and often united with it. Israel's interests in the Middle East differ completely from Russia's interests. Israel's interests is the destruction of Iran, which would open a pathway for CIA jihadis to flow into the Russian Federation and the former Central Asian province of the Soviet Union. Instead of one Ukraine, there would be many. Putin has the concept of good and evil. He is learning that in the West he faces evil. The Russian church sees it as well and supports him. Some Russians are still influenced by the American propaganda from the Voice of America and Radio Free Europe during the Cold War of the 20th century, but as the previous lack of political support for Alexei Navalny and the absence of support for Putin's challengers demonstrate, the Russian people understand that they face a threat from Washington's empire, the response to which requires national unity. So you know why they fear the American empire? Because they see what the American empire is doing to the American people, that they're destroying America, and they would just love to destroy Russia too. And that's why the Antichrist doesn't like Russia or Putin. It's how dare they throw off communism? How dare they revive their Orthodox Russian church? How dare they? Yes. How dare they? So raise up an enemy against them. NATO, we got a sell ready-made enemy. Well, all we need is a nuclear war. And who cares how many people die? Because the Antichrist and his adherents, they already hate you and want you dead anyway. Seriously. They hate you and they want you dead. Meanwhile, in the U.S., the Democrats and the corporations have the borders wide open in order to replace higher-cost American employees and Republican voters. Okay, we'll try again. Your name and where you're calling from. See, really got him with that. They hate you and they want you dead. Had to interrupt that train of thought. But it's true. why do you think they're killing as many babies before? They love nothing more than killing babies and aborting children before they're born. And you think the murder and the hatred stops there? You're kidding yourself. Doesn't stop there. Talk about bloodlust. Yeah. These people are bloodthirsty. They want death, destruction. Meanwhile, in the U.S., the Democrats and the corporations have the borders wide open in order to replace higher-cost American employees and Republican voters. Unity in America and throughout the Western world has been destroyed by identity politics. In the Western world, no government represents the ethnic base of the country. Governments only represent the elite ruling interests. President Trump tried to change that, and we see what has happened to him. That's the truth. Yes. I would say the Antichrist does not like Donald Trump. And, Donald Trump went to Davos. They hated him ever since because of what he said when he was there. I hear David Knight always trying to put him down because he went to Davos. No, he didn't listen to what he said at Davos. They did not like it. He was talking about America first. He was telling the other guys there that you need to put your people first, and I'll put the American people first, and we'll have a win-win situation. Everybody's looking out for their own country's interests. And when we deal each other, it'll have to be a win-win. Yeah. Made sense to me. That's why we loved him on Foreign Affairs. Yes. So, yes, I would rather have Donald Trump than Joe Biden. But I would rather have Kennedy than Joe Biden. There's a whole group of people that think the same as Joe Biden. I don't want any of them near office anywhere, but DC is saturated with them on both sides of the aisle because they're all lovers of money rather than lovers of God. Yes, they love money. They worship money. They have sold their souls. Just like Satan, when he tried to tempt Jesus, said, I will give you all these if you will fall down and worship me. Just about every politician, more than half of them at least, if not 2/3 of them, have bowed the knee for money, have been compromised or are compromised somehow. They either joy in doing evil or they're too compromised to get in the way of evil. Yeah, that's how it works. Or they're too afraid to do what's right or go against what they're told to do. Because that's what evil does. And we have an evil world run by the Antichrist and by the multitude of his merchandise. He has filled the earth with violence. Yes, the violent take it by force. And that's the state of the world. There's some croakings for you over there, genetic modification. Croakings of doom. But there is the good news. The good news. What is the good news? The gospel. Yeah, the good news is this ain't it. Stop trying to get your best life now. You have one object, and that is to live your life in a way that's pleasing to God. That will definitely you'll get the best result for your life. If you want the best result for your life, then live your life in a way that is pleasing to God. That will yield the best result for your life, regardless of what it is. Because God loved the world so much that he gave his only begotten Son. So why wouldn't we listen to him? He laid down his life for us. He has only our best interest in heart. So need to read his word, read his letter, and understand it. And rely solely upon him. Because mankind has a problem. Yeah. And the problem is that we all shall surely die. And there's only one remedy. And that's what the good news is all about, is we can live forever. But we can only do it by faith in Christ. Through him alone, by faith alone, through Christ alone, will we be able to rise from the dead. That's the only cure there is. Because without that, all the promises of God are worthless. If it isn't it's not an everlasting covenant unless we rise from the dead and obtain eternal life. It's not an everlasting covenant then. But that's what makes it an everlasting covenant, is the promise of the resurrection. Yeah. And that's the good news. We don't have to get our best life now. This life is painful, it's hard, it does come with some joy and happiness and fun and good times, but it also comes with anxiety and worry and hunger and pain and a lot of things that are unpleasant. But we can do all things, if you want to use that verse in context, through Christ who strengthens us. We can do all things. We can make it through every obstacle this life. And then even if life kills us, we get to graduate into eternal life with a new body that will never die, no pain, never hunger, no sickness, no infirmity. You'll be all 100% well. Everything will work as it's supposed to. No crippling pain, no malfunctioning body parts. You won't need glasses to read. Yeah. So stop trying to get your best life now, and be thankful for what you have, and enjoy the real treasures and the real valuable things in life, which is your family and your friends, and a quiet evening together, sharing a good meal with family and friends, and the opportunity to do good any chance you get, to be kind to one another, and to love the brothers and love God's family. Simple things. Read your Gospels, read the epistles, learn what pleases God, and desire to do it, because God has already given you the life, the gift of eternal life. So why would we not desire to please him in everything we do? Yes, thank you for the amen there, Mick, in the chat room. Okay, well, I got a few minutes left here. Comments, questions, suggestions. Let's see, tomorrow I'm doing a live broadcast in the morning, my Prophecy Reality Edition. So if you can show up for that, that'll be 9 a.m. rather than 9 p.m. And I don't know what I'm going to be doing yet. I'm going to be outing some other. I think I'll take a look at Jack Hibbs. You ever heard of him? Let's see. I think I got one of his videos up here. Oops. See, yeah, this is Real Life with Jack Hibbs. And yeah.
Please chip in just $5 to my father's campaign.
Okay, we'll skip that. Yeah, this guy Jack Hibbs. Now he's recently gained his claim to fame because the new Speaker of the House is a modern evangelical Christian Calvary Chapel type, and he believes in. So you can tell why he is doing what he's doing, because he's taken in by the Zionist counter-Reformation prophecy that is so popular today. And so he invited this guy to pray in the chamber house of the legislature with the House of Representatives there, and to cause a firestorm, because the guy's prayer was great, but he does prophecy the dispensational futurist way, and he's just wrong about everything. So I'm going to talk about some of his rantings and ravings. I sent him a copy of my book. Which book was that? Well, it was Secrets of the Rapture. That's the one I sent him, Secrets of the Rapture. And hopefully asking him to either conform or rebut the things I write in the book. Because these guys, they only argue in a box. And the box is called the 7-year tribulation deception. I call it the deception. They just call it the 7-year tribulation. And they only argue if you're pre-trib, mid-trib, or post-trib. And if you don't agree with it, because they're all pre-trib, and if you don't agree with them, you're post-trib, but you're still in the box. He says he used to be a post-trib in this very video that I have on the screen here. He said he used to be post-trib for about 3 years, but he gave it up. He never got out of the box. I know I busted out of the box. It took me a few years before I figured out there was a box. There was a 7-year, I couldn't find this, because first I couldn't find the pre-tribulation resurrection anywhere in the Bible. I looked and I looked high and low everywhere in the Bible for it. No, they couldn't even show me where. They wouldn't show me where it is. They said, there's a gap in here. Okay, well, I'm not looking for a gap, but thanks for that anyway. I wanted to know where the pre-tribulation resurrection is at in the Bible, but they can't show it to you because it's not there. Okay, and then I discovered that there was no 7-year tribulation period lined out in the Bible anywhere either. So I got out of the box. I got free from the box. So now I'm not post-trib. I'm second coming resurrection. That's my position. I'm a second coming resurrection believer, meaning that when Jesus comes his second time, we will be resurrected, meet him in the air, because we have to travel over to return with him, because it says that he comes with 10,000s and thousands of his saints. So that means everyone who died in Christ, even from Adam and Eve, they all believed in the Messiah. Even Job, oldest book in the Bible, what did Job say? He says, I know that my Redeemer liveth. You think he's going to miss the marriage supper of the Lamb and the resurrection? You better believe he is not going to. And all of those guys that believed in the promise of the seed of the woman from the very beginning of the book of Genesis, they believed in the Messiah. They will be there. They will all be there, in white robes, made of linen, white and clean, okay, to meet Christ in the air, and we will be we're going to meet him in the air, and we're going to be given a horse so that we can come back on horses with him, white horses, all in white robes, 10,000s and thousands, myriad, an innumerable number of his saints. Like I said, everyone from Adam and Eve until the last person that joins the elect, that joins Jesus' church before he returns. Everyone will be caught up or changed, or the dead will be raised. Everyone will meet Christ in the air, and we will join him when he returns. And he will be returning just like that. And then we're going to have a marriage supper of the Lamb. We're not going to have this. They say they're going to go to heaven and do all this other stuff. No. They can't show me that either. So there's no gap in Daniel. They can't show you that. There's no pre-tribulation resurrection. They can't show you that either. They can't show you where we're all going to heaven. They can only conjecture all of these things, and that's all they do, because none of them are explicitly stated anywhere. And that's what I go through in my book, concisely and purposely. I've got the most important things that they need to either rebut, but they can't rebut them because I have the scripture on my side. So they choose to ignore those things. I sent him a copy of my book. I don't know if he got it. I sent to other people too that love to talk about their pre-trib resurrection rapture. I have to put it that way because they've redefined the rapture to mean a pre-trib resurrection. That's how they get another resurrection 7 years before the one that happens when Jesus returns. But there's only one. So I am a second coming resurrection believer. I'm not a pre, mid, or post rapture person. I'm none of those. I'm not getting back in their box. I escaped the box. I got outside their box, but they can't seem to find their way out of it. Oh no, I can't get out of the box. Help me. And they do need help. Yes, God help them all. Okay, well, that was my final warning that the program is about to end. So may the Almighty bless you and keep you, each and every one of you, as you travel on the narrow way that leads to life. I'll see you next time.
Secrets of the Rapture. Is there a 500-year-old conspiracy? A propaganda machine so pervasive and entrenched, yet so elusive that the entire world could be taken in by it, working in plain sight, but unseen by the world for what it truly is? If prophecy is God-given history in advance, why does the prophecy that has conquered the age also exclude nearly 2,000 years of history? What is it that they are afraid that the light of history will reveal? To understand our place in time and prophecy, we must look in history for an interpretation, that which stands the test of time, that which agrees with the Word of God, and history has proven to be true. When cunning fables and fearful speculations are removed from our sight, then we may clearly see what is truly expressed in Bible prophecy, both that which has been fulfilled and that which has yet to come. God's express word is the sword that must be wielded to remove the scales from the eyes and dispel the darkness of deceitful conjecture. Secrets of the Rapture was written to expose that which the spirit of the age has conjured out of the darkness to blind the eyes of the church in the world today. Secrets of the Rapture, deconstructing pre-tribulation dispensational futurism by yours truly, Nicholas Arthur, is now available at lulu.com and Amazon. Secrets of the
American Family News, I'm Robert Thornton. The divided Supreme Court today lifted a stay on a Texas law that gives local police broad powers to arrest illegal aliens while a legal battle over immigration authority plays out. By a 6-3 vote, the High Court said Senate Bill 4 can go into effect. Art Arthur is a resident fellow in law and policy at the Center for Immigration Studies.
What this law does is it makes it a misdemeanor to cross an international border into Texas illegally. Texas doesn't have the